Welcome to yet another devlog. In this video I'm gonna go over some of the changes I've made in this version, and I'm gonna show you some highlights and the reasons for changing some of them. At the end of the video I wanna share some feedback I got from Tim Ruswick over at his Twitch channel last Friday, but more about that later. One of the changes I've made is actually here on the main menu. I've added this how to play button to give people a chance of viewing the controls here and some space for some gameplay description, which is basically just saying that this is a sandbox right now. But the controls are here, and that's good for people that haven't played the game before and who don't have me sitting next to them explaining how it works. The next thing is that I've added 2 new models for rockets. Yes, I have done these myself. They are a little too rough, I guess. They are 6 edges around the round rocket you can see, but I can see now in game that that's a little too rough for my taste. So I'm already planning on changing these to be maybe 8 or 10 or 12 or something like that, to give it a little more rounder look than this one. It's a little too rough. I also added this battery here, which is kind of okay looking, I think. The effect of firing it off is the same as before, but the model has changed now, and I'm going to change the rest of the model, I think, maybe already in the next version, to get away from all the models I got from somewhere else, because I really want to have all the firework models be my own. They are kind of the unique thing in this game, so I want to build them myself so they are unique, and then I can buy my way to the rest of the props and environments and stuff like that, which is also important but not the unique thing in this game. Also, I added an in-game menu, so now when you hit escape we have a menu coming up here with a zoom button and a settings button. Still no settings in here, but now it's there, and you can now exit an environment and then load into a new one. One of the more minor things I've added is that I added a little light to this physics gun. So now you can kind of more see that this is hovering over the ground. It's a very little thing, and it took 2 minutes to do, but it's something that has been bugging me for a long time now, that this thing that seems like it's glowing didn't emit any light. So now it does, and it looks kind of nice actually. At least if you ask me. Previously in this map there was no colliders on these mountains and hills over here, so when you walked out here you would just fall through the ground. That is kind of not very ideal. I haven't spent too much time on the environments yet. This is a standard asset setup. I'm going to change it, but that's not been the focus right now. Now I just have this in here because it looks great and give a nice feeling. But now I added colliders to all the mountains, so now you can actually walk on top of this mountain over here and have a great view for the fireworks when you fire it off. Let's try that. So up here, apparently as high as the clouds. Let's see how it looks up from up here. Another thing is that I can now hit backspace to remove the UI, you can see here. Yeah, looks amazing like always. If you wonder why there was a lot of activity down here, it's actually because I added some fireworks to this shop that is down here, just to kind of give the feeling of a shop. Let me show you. Right now it doesn't act as a store, but I want a store to be here at some point later on when we get to the gameplay stuff. So just to kind of try and give a feeling of that, I just placed some fireworks in here, just for fun. Still, there's no colliders on the wall, I can just walk through and all that. And you can't buy anything, you can just, use it. I can just fire this one off and then everything will just explode because it ignites each other. As you saw in, I guess, the previous devlog or something like that. But now we need to get out here. So as mentioned in the intro, I was so lucky to get some feedback from Tim Ruswick, which is also known as gamedev underground here on YouTube. Every Friday he does a Feedback Friday stream on Twitch, where he is taking in submissions from viewers for their unfinished games. It was very interesting to see somebody you don't know play the game without you sitting next to them, because usually when I show it to friends and family, I sit next to them and it's kind of acting like a real life interactive tutorial that can explain them what they are doing wrong now and how they should change. So seeing a streamer or seeing somebody on a stream or on a recording play the game without you having to any direct interaction with them was pretty interesting. So that was very, very giving and funny to see where he went wrong, quote unquote, because obviously he didn't, but I did something that make things act weird. And because I know why I changed this, it's obvious to me, but of course getting into the game for the first time, it's not obvious, for instance, why some rockets don't fly and then just explode. The explanation about that is I needed some bomb effect, so I took some of the green rockets, two or three of them, in the lab and removed the logic to making them fly, so I could have kind of a bomb I could place somewhere to test some explosion effects. Of course, Tim didn't know that, so he started off by taking this green rocket and starting to fire it off. And it didn't fly, it just exploded in front of him. And he was kind of surprised at that, obviously, because you see a rocket and you expect it to fly when you ignite it. So he of course gave me that feedback, and then in the chat I wrote back to him, "Oh, sorry, my fault. 2 of them don't fly. Try one of the others."
I see, forgot to indicate that 3 of those green rockets are actually bombs. They don't fly. All the other ones. Yeah, that. Because see, this is what's called an affordance. When you give me something shaped like this, I use my pre-existing knowledge to say, hey, this is how this should operate. So when it doesn't operate that way, it's confusing. So I'm thinking it might be a physics bug where like it's just too much friction. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what I expected.
So that's something that I need to maybe, if as the game progress, I need to remove some of these more developer stuff, of course, and maybe think more about always having a game that works so I can ship it every time. That's also something I try with this new version thing I'm trying. But when I say release here, it's not a release that you can try right now. It's more like an practice for myself to release a new version on Steam for me to learn how that works, and then friends and family can come with feedback, and I can use that also to get feedback from streamers, for instance, before the game is actually finished. Another thing that Tim confirms to me was that people playing this game want to blow things up. I see that again and again every time I show it to somebody. As soon as they see these crates being knocked over by an explosion or something like that, that's where they say, well, more of that, more of that. So even though it's a fireworks game that's actually about firing off fireworks, I know that people would like to also do stuff that you won't do in real life. For instance, Tim started off, the first time he saw a gas station, he was like,
can we blow up the gas station? Can we blow up the gas station?
So he ran over, picked up a battery and placed it right next to the stand in the gas station. Of course, right now it's just a stupid model, so it doesn't do anything, but it just confirms to me that I really need to pay attention to all these kind of minor things that people have a strong fantasy of doing with fireworks, if we should refer to Jonah Turalla's theory about a good game. So blowing stuff up with fireworks is something people hopefully don't do in real life that much, but would like to do and can do in a safe environment in this game. So I will pay even more attention to these things and be sure that it's possible to blow up the gas station at some point. But in general, watching that stream with Tim Ruswick was very, very interesting, and I noted some things down that I want to take into consideration. For instance, removing these rocket that acts like a bomb. So if you want to see the entire video of Tim Ruswick playing my game, I think it's about 5-10 minutes or something. I'll leave a link in the description with a time code so you can step into this. I think it's a 4-hour long stream all in all. I provided a time code so you can just jump into the part where he's playing my game. I also encourage you to follow his YouTube channel, Gamedev Underground, and his Twitch channel, Tim Ruswick. I will leave link in the description for that too. That's all for now. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. If you have any comments or feedback, please leave a comment, of course. And if you want to see more like this and other videos related to the game, please feel free to subscribe. I can hint you that there might be an upcoming time-lapse of some new models you haven't seen yet. So, with that said, hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned. See you in the next video.